What's up, Totem Pole Nation? This is Lambo and Matt's World of Sports. Today we are getting into Thursday Night Football. We'll give our picks. We'll preview the game. We're also going to get into what the hell is going on with Josh Allen, and has the media finally woken up to giving somebody else in the NFL, one of their poster boys, the same amount of criticism and ridicule as they give America's team's quarterback in Dak Prescott. We'll get into a lot more. You can comment if you agree or disagree with some of our takes. We're all ears. Thank you, as always, to Sideline Sports Network for the platform. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Totem Pole Nation. If you want to help the boys out by getting some merch, it's totempolenation.com. That's scrolling down below in the ticker. And if you wanted to throw us a follow on any of the socials, those are also down in the ticker. Let's get into it.
All right, first we got to get into Josh Allen because he got his offensive coordinator fired to Ken Dorsey. Stephon Diggs wants out. Even his brother tweeted that, get him out of Buffalo. Josh Allen, ladies and gentlemen, he's great talent. I'm not hating on him, but you got to give the same energy when it comes to Dak Prescott and Josh Allen. We talk about Dak Prescott and criticize him too much, and even when he has a good game, the media narrative just says, oh, it's not good enough. Well, he's not almost leading the league in interceptions, if I'm correct. Dak Prescott, by the way, I understand both of these quarterbacks neither have won a Super Bowl just yet. But, I mean, Dak Prescott has at least won playoff games career-wise overall. And I never said that Josh Allen was better than Dak Prescott. Who do I trust, not even just in the bad moments of time? Who do I trust in general? I trust Dak Prescott over Josh Allen. Josh Allen fumbles the ball too much. He throws silly, dumb interceptions. And when I say career-wise, health-wise, I understand that Dak Prescott had a horrific ankle injury. I get that. But Josh Allen does take too many hits when he runs. He takes, like, very, very unnecessary hits, like high hits. And, like, the way he takes his sacks, the way he falls, I really don't like that. Like, it's just a wear and tear on his body. You can go ahead on this rant because it's your quarterback. I don't have much to say because he's in my division. I'm just glad that he's sucking it up right now.
All right, so I will start by giving Josh the credit that he does deserve. All right, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's just a freak of nature. You know, he's dynamic. He can hurt you in the air. He can hurt you on the ground. But when it comes to people that have gotten a lot of credit and the benefit of the doubt after one really good playoff game that their team still lost, it would be Josh Allen above anybody else. That game where, you know, it was 13 seconds for the Chiefs and it was improbable, but Patrick Mahomes came back and they went to overtime and they didn't get a chance to get the ball back. I get it. You want to have the chance. And, you know, he played great in that game and everything, but it's one game and I get it's in the playoffs. It's a big moment. They still lost. And it's not the only time where his team is in crunch time and it goes down to the wire and they lose in overtime. Like it's not all his fault. But I think he has just gotten so much credit attached to a playoff game that was just very, very entertaining at the end of the day. And then, you know, also this is a fantasy world at this point when it comes to football. This is a fantasy. A lot of opinions are formed based off of fantasy football performances. And when it comes to better fantasy football quarterbacks, really since his third year in the league, there hasn't been a better one. In full PPR leagues since 2020, he was first, second, and he's first right now, even this year, leading the league in interceptions with 11. And in half PPR, same stats. Those are the positives. Negatives. He leads the NFL in turnovers since 2018, his first year as a starter, 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. All right. it's not a new issue for him. Obviously, when he came in, he was a middle of the pack quarterback. He didn't really have the best accuracy, and he put a lot of time and effort working with a lot of quarterback specialists and fixing his form and becoming a better thrower in the pocket, which he has done to his credit. His accuracy has gone up, but it still results in a lot of interceptions. Like last night's game, while it was entertaining, those interceptions were on him. There weren't, what wasn't being talked about with Dak last year. A lot of those interceptions were just tip balls. Those he was putting way too much air underneath it. He was throwing to coverage. And yeah, you want a guy that has faith in his receivers, but damn. And this week, really, after that game, is the first time that I've heard significant talk from any source of media about Josh Allen's turnovers. It's finally being highlighted. So I think they are catching up a little bit. But Dak still week in, week out, the question, he just had one of the best games of his career. We had one of the most dominant yard differentials since the 1940s. All right. The yard differential and what we gained versus what we allowed, as big since the 40s. Okay. And they want to bring up on TV, is Dak Prescott an all-time great Cowboys quarterback? Why are we talking about that 2 days after he just had one of the best games of his career? We're just finding new ways to talk down about Dak Prescott. All right. That's what it seems. Obviously, you can't take away the 49ers loss where he did play very poorly. All right. But I just want everyone to imagine that game hasn't happened. Okay. Where would he rank? Where would this offense rank in team points per game? It would rank first. Where would Dak rank in passing completion? First. Where would he rank in passer rating? First. Where would he rank in touchdown to interception ratio? Second, with 16-3. Where would he land in passing yards per game? Fourth. All right. So without that game, which obviously you can't take out because you'd have to take a game out for everybody, but taking away his worst game, he is statistically the best quarterback in the league this year. I'm not saying he is the best quarterback. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes is better than him. But I do think that the list that people want to show you and talk about who's a better quarterback than him is getting shrunk this year by a reasonable amount. Since week 6, so in the past 4 weeks, Dak is first in passing grade, first in yards per attempt, first in means throws over 20 yards, fourth in turnover-worthy play rate, 1.2%, and he's first in passing yards via air passes, not just screens and throws in the under or in the flat.
The deal is like we keep overriding each other.
So I think that the criticism and the praise need to be evened out a little bit, because Josh is still, an elite talent, but he has not been playing elite, and he gets a lot more of a pass than Dak does, when Dak statistically this year has been a top 3 quarterback.
I do agree with that. I don't, like I said, I ain't got too much to say on it, but the media just needs to come to the narrative that, I don't want to say this, maybe Josh Allen's career could be coming to an end sooner than later. Maybe on his 6-year deal that he signed 2-3 years ago, this could be his final contract if he keeps on turning the ball over and if Buffalo doesn't end up getting any better. Not just this year, but maybe going on forward. I hope Buffalo gets into a collapse, but it's hard for me to predict they'll get a collapse. We'll have to just wait and see on that in the future. Not only that, but Bengals versus the Ravens, Thursday Night Football. This should be an exciting one to watch. The AFC North is stacked. All right, the Ravens at 7-3, Pittsburgh at 63, Cleveland at 63 Cleveland at 63 is just hella wild. And then Cincinnati, of course, at I think 5-4, if I'm correct, 5-4. They lost to the Texans, just the touchdown. In this game, I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I get Ravens have a defense, but 33 points to Cleveland. I know I picked them as a number 1 team in the top 5 we do on Wednesdays, but I don't trust the Ravens when it comes to long term. And this is one of the games where they had a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. Lamar Jackson started throwing some picks, and it cost them. It started with that pick six. It was tipped ball up in the air, and it cost them. I'm going with the Bengals. Now, their defense will obviously make some adjustments. They got 34 held on by the Texans as well. But I'm trusting Joe Burrow over Lamar Jackson right now. So I'm going with Bengals. The Ravens, we've known the Ravens for the past couple seasons, especially that Miami game last year with them 35-14 and they lost. That's why they had that 8-9 season like last year or the year before, where they were up every time in the fourth quarter, but they'll just lose. And this is one of the games that they lost. I'm going with the Bengals.
Yeah, fair enough. The Bengals have been on a roll. They seem like they're hitting on all cylinders, and they lead the league in turnover differential, or tied with the Steelers at +10, believe it or not. But the Ravens, they're first in the league in sacks, and you can say that the O-line of the Bengals has improved, but hasn't improved enough to, withstand the number one pass rush unit in the NFL. I don't know. Obviously, Joe's agility and mobility have come back to where he's been able to escape sacks like he wasn't able to do earlier in the year. But the Ravens total have the number 2 defense in the league. They have the number 1 number 1 rushing offense in the league as well. So everything seems to be coming alive for the Bengals right now. But I don't know if that just means that I trust them more than the Ravens, who I see as the number 1 team in the NFL right now. Obviously, we've seen them lay some eggs. They lost a couple games that they shouldn't have lost, but it doesn't shake my confidence enough to take the Bengals. So I'm rolling with the Ravens in this one. As a pure passer, I would trust Joe more, but seeing what Lamar has done in his evolution as a passer, he's not always going into run mode as soon as his first or second read aren't open. He's progressing through reads in a play, not immediately going to scramble. And then also, the running game is coming alive now behind him with Gus and Keaton Mitchell, who are just taking so much pressure off of him. Obviously, through the first, I think, 5 or 6 weeks, he was the leading rusher on that team, and he was, top 20 in the league when it came to rushing yards. Now he doesn't have to do that. And obviously it's huge when he does. It's a big element of this offense, but having basically a 3-headed monster in the backfield with, Keaton Mitchell having 2 electric games in a row. Gus Edwards has emerged as the running back 1. And then obviously Lamar, what he can always do. They're going to have to play a loaded box. And that just gives these wide receivers a lot of an opportunity, and it gives Lamar an opportunity on the outside. Whereas the Ravens realistically won't have to load the box up too much. And they can more focus on those defenders, and they are on the wide receivers, and their defenders, are one of the top units in the NFL for a reason. So I'm rolling with the Ravens here. I do think it's going to be close. I haven't looked at the exact line. I'll look that up. But this is going to be a great game finally, because like you said, we have not really seen many. Like last night was entertaining. Don't get me wrong. Drama, stuff was going crazy. It was going wrong. And that was like an entertaining element of it. But you don't want to rely on, teams just turning the ball over and game costing penalties with 12 men on the field. You don't want that to be your form of entertainment in a primetime game. Like it does add entertainment value for sure. It adds drama, but we want to see drama in good play, not in shitty play. So hopefully this game is, turning of a new tide for the primetime games, because up until, week 11 now, they've sucked.
Yeah, unfortunately, this better be entertaining. It better be entertaining, obviously, because I'm going to be very, very disappointed. And I will if it's not entertaining, I will cut the TV off and I'll go to college basketball. That's just what I'm going to do. But
Baltimore is favored by 3.5. if you're, that's obviously on ESPN Bet as well. As we explained in the previous episode, those odds are looking a little friendly to the bettors recently, which might be a strategy to get more people to use it earlier, which would make sense. But it's looking like some friendly odds. I would assume this game comes down to like a field goal. So 3.5 might be a way to go either way. But I'm taking the Ravens.
Moneyline Bengals for me. This is it for Lambo and Matt's World Sports. You need to like, comment, subscribe. Go to Total Pro Nation, like, comment, subscribe. If you need your merch, you go to TotalProNation.com. Tomorrow's episode is also the recruiting trail. I get it. There's a lot of hate to the comments, but we know our stuff. Don't say we don't know our stuff. We do our research. We watch y'all. Y'all see, y'all are just mad because y'all want to hear fantasy stuff. We're in the reality world of false and truth, and we just tell the truth. So tomorrow's the recruiting episode. Obviously, top 5 teams will the list stay the same, or there'll be some changes. There will definitely be some changes because there's some teams that got blown out of the water, and y'all will find out if I will ever put the 49ers in my top 5. Not ever. Let me take that back. If I put them in my top 5 tomorrow. So y'all will find out. So that's it for Lambo Mets World Sports. Take care of yourselves. Y'all have a great night. Peace out. Take care of yourselves.